what is gravity? And how does it stop you from living your inspired life? In week 1, I explained that inspiration by itself is not enough to bring the positive changes that you're wanting into your life. Because the forces of gravity that are keeping your life just the way it is are more powerful than the forces that you're using to change your life. And therefore, the changes that you try to make don't stick. And I illustrated the point with a simple physics lesson. A notepad resting on a table represents your life as it currently is. The notepad will stay right where it is because the force of gravity is holding it there, and it'll remain there forever unless a force greater than gravity pushes it or pulls it in a different direction. Remember? Then I gave an example of you being inspired to start a charitable foundation, and how that inspiration does contain energy. It is a real force that you can feel, but it's only a weak one, like a light breeze. And remember we talked about gravity responding and how it had more power than the light breeze, and how gravity said, how are you going to start a foundation? You don't have the money, the time, or the talent. So let's define gravity and the power it has to hold our lives in place, preventing us from creating and living the life of our dreams. The gravitational forces of your life come in different shapes, sizes, and voices, but they're all working hard to keep your life just the way it is. Some of these forces come from inside, some come from outside, and some from an interaction of the two. So let me explain. Inside forces of gravity come from a voice talking to you inside your head. So remember, you've just witnessed an act of kindness, and it reminded you of your lifelong goal to start a charitable foundation. And you're really genuinely inspired to do it. And then that little voice in your head becomes procrastination. I'll start working on the charitable foundation after I get A, B, and C done, and I have more time. As Mark Twain sarcastically said, quote, never put off till tomorrow what you can do the day after tomorrow. Self-doubt. I think it would be great to run a charitable foundation, but I've never done anything like that before. It's beyond my ability. I'm just kidding myself. Broken promises. I started working on the charitable foundation, creating an outline of things to do, and even doing some, but I did not sustain my effort, and eventually I just stopped. These inside forces of gravity act as an internal detractor, questioning whether you deserve the changes that you want. They make you wonder if pursuing your goal is selfish or silly. They chip away at your confidence that the idea is achievable and that you have the ability to achieve it. They flood your mind with negative thoughts and excuses holding your life in place. Outside forces of gravity are beliefs you've collected from your experience in the world and from your observation of it. They come from a wide variety of sources, including culture. You can't start your own charitable foundation because you're a woman, because you don't have a college education, because you're not wealthy, because you don't have a resume full of executive experience. The culture we live in often sends limiting messages of what we're supposed to do and what we're not supposed to do, and that holds us in place like gravity. Family. No one in our family has ever started a charitable foundation. Why do you think you can? Do you think you're better than the rest of us? Family and friends. Jealous. You are nothing more than an administrative assistant. What makes you think you can start and run a charitable foundation? Family and friends who will miss you. I don't want you to start a charitable foundation because you'll become too busy to spend time with me. You'll meet a new circle of friends and not have time for me. You'll develop new and different interests and won't want to spend time with me. Some family and friends simply will not understand why you want to change your life and take on new challenges. They're more comfortable with you just like you are. They may see something in your changes that they desire for themselves. They may fear losing you. But whatever the case, these outside forces of gravity can weigh heavily on you and hold your life in place. Some gravity that works to prevent you from changing your life comes from an interaction between inside and outside forces. Information overload, the massive volume of time demand, responding to email, text messages, social media messages, news feeds, and other non-critical time sucks create a feeling of busyness that can provide a continuous excuse for the procrastinator inside voice in your head. Blaming others. This outside voice feeds the self-doubt inside your head. I would have started working on the charitable foundation, except the consultant I hired said I didn't have enough money. I didn't have enough experience. I didn't have enough support. Blaming things. These outside events strengthen the forces of gravity inside your head. I would have started working on the charitable foundation, except my boss just assigned me to a big project, except the kids just started back to school, except another company just started something similar to my idea. So let's go back to our physics lesson. An object at rest stays at rest unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Your life as it is today is like an object at rest. There are real and powerful gravitational forces working very hard to keep it just as it is. So if you want to change it, you're going to need to use forces greater than gravity to push or pull in a different direction, in the direction you want to go. You're going to need a pathway to greater power.